right, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on. I was really humbled when Hannah reached out to me and told me that y'all wanted me to come and talk. For those of you who don't know me, who I haven't had the pleasure to meet yet, my name is Johanna Luna, and I am a superstar director out of Gurnee, Illinois. So that's like way north Illinois, almost the Wisconsin border. And funny story, when I joined Scentsy, there were three other superstar directors within like 20 minutes of my area. They all actually happen to be my upline or somewhere dotted line connected to me. But for anybody that's heard saturation or any of those things, I'm here to like blow all that stuff out of the water right now. For those of you that don't know my story or haven't heard it before, I actually joined Scentsy originally in the very, very last day of April of 2015. I'm sure my sponsor was like, oh, you couldn't wait one more day. But I did join last day of April in 2015. I had at the time a almost 3-year-old and a little bitty baby. So he was, just about almost 5 months when I joined Scentsy. And honestly, I was just looking for something fun to do, something for me. I was very much lost in the shuffle of motherhood, and I just needed something to identify with, something to have that was my own. And I knew getting out of the house wasn't an option. I had 2 kids at home and I worked full time, still do work full time to this day. And so Scentsy was just this blessing. There was a
Oh no, did we lose her? It's not just me, right? I see everyone else. Oh, are you back? Johanna.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm here. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what just happened. Like my screen just went completely black. Okay. All right. So there was a lady at work who's now my best friend, and she introduced me to Scentsy. So I joined in 2015. I hit all of my quick start goals. I was shooting star level 2. I hit shooting star the day I joined sensational start level 2, sorry. And I just hit the ground running. I recruited my first month. I double promoted. I was on fire and I loved it. But it sort of came easy to me. And I don't say that to brag. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But it sort of came easy to me because I just was sharing the product. I just fell in love with the product and I could not stop talking about the product. So I had this really quick start success because that excitement was there and I was sharing it with everybody. And then life got in the way. And my 9-to-5 got crazy. Those kids just kept growing up every single day. And about a year and a half later, I quit. I just posted one day on Facebook, I'm done selling Scentsy. If anybody needs anything, contact my sponsor. And that was it. Actually, that's how my sponsor found out I was quitting. She was not happy. So I quit and I just said this wasn't for me. Fast forward about 6 months later, I was out of wax and needed more wax, and I was not going to give anybody else 25%. So I was like, you know what? I'll give it a try. And when I came back, they were just starting the incentive period. It was August for the Mediterranean cruise. And I really, really, really wanted the cruise, but I didn't have a roadmap for how to get the cruise. It was just that I want the cruise, so I'm just going to go get the cruise. That is not how it works. And anybody that's ever earned an incentive ever, there are a few people that by luck earn it. And I shouldn't say by luck, hard work, but they don't even realize that they're that close and they earn a trip. But most people, if you've ever earned a trip, raise your hand, you know that it's because you put together a plan and you look at that plan month over month over month. And it's the same thing with your business. So when I came back in August of 2017, I put together a plan and I put together a dream board. And I said, I am going to go all the way with this. And I was crazy enough to believe it. And then fast forward to spring of 2018, it was going to be the We were doing a trip incentive in the spring, which was kind of odd, but it was the only one we've actually had since I've been here. And it was for the Reach for the Beach Cancun. And that was going to take place the following January in 2019. And my husband and I were going to be married for 10 years in 2019. So I said, I'm going to earn that trip. And I did. I worked really, really hard and I put together the steps. Again, I put together a plan for my business. And I earned that trip. And ever since then, I have just taken my business step by step like that. So then I wanted to be a director. I wanted it so bad. I had it written out. I had it on vision boards. I had it everywhere. I'm going to be a director. It happened for me in June of 2019. From there, it was like, next step, star director. I'm going to be a star director. May of 2020. In May of 2020, I said, okay, let's do it. We're going all the way. The pandemic had just hit. We were trying to figure out this whole work from home thing. I figured out Facebook parties. I talked to everybody. I wanted superstar director so bad. In March of 2021, I became a superstar director. It is because of a lot of hard work, and it is because I made a plan. I decided that this was my business to win or lose, just like it's your business to win or lose. And no matter where you're at in your business, most people right now are in this kind of, I'm not even going to say the word dip because that's the word that like everybody keeps using and it's just so overrated at this point. I can't hear it anymore. Everybody is kind of in their own boat in the same storm. And there's so many things about this storm that we cannot control, be it the economy, be it just the state of everything around us, inflation, all of the things. But what we can control is our own passion for the products, our own passion for this company and what it can do for us, our families, and our own dreams. And you don't have to dream about being a superstar director. In fact, if that is your dream, something's wrong. Don't get offended. Listen, superstar director in itself isn't going to be enough to keep you excited and sustain you. You need to look at it as the vessel to what is going to excite you. It's really ironic because as I was getting ready to get on this call, I thought about the last time that I did one of these calls. And the last time I did a wider consultant training call for multiple groups was the night I found out I was pregnant with my daughter. And I didn't know when I was on the training. And my husband was literally texting me, I'm going to go get you pregnancy test. And I was like, yeah, okay. And the call went 2 hours. And then I got off that call and I took this test reluctantly, telling him he's nuts, and found out that I was pregnant with my daughter. Life has this way of coming full circle. And when I started my business in 2015, it was because I had these kids and I needed something for me. I knew I had these babies I wanted to provide everything for, and I wanted to reset generational cycles. And I wanted to be able to say yes to opportunity and a future for them that my sister, brother, and I were not given. I knew that's what I wanted. And I knew somehow Scentsy could get me there. But along the way, I got lost. And I lost not only that vision, but I never really had the roadmap the first time around. Then when I came back in 2017 and I saw not only what this business could do for people, be it trips or community or experiences, but also a paycheck, a life-changing paycheck. Insert income disclosure statement, please. But what it is life-changing income is whatever that is for you. Maybe it's a car payment. Maybe it's going to get your nails done or buy a pair of shoes so that your significant other can't say anything about it. That's for you to decide. But what I encourage you to do is if you're ready to make a business comeback, I'm here to tell you firsthand that you absolutely can. But the most important thing is that you come up with a roadmap and you realize that your comeback is never over. In order to be successful in this business, it has to be one comeback after another comeback after another comeback. So last year, when I found out I was pregnant with my daughter, ironically, I was going through some stuff with my family. My business had taken a hit like many of our businesses have. I struggled with the fact that I was not being paid a title, and I let that get the best of me. And I let those lies build up and tell me that I wasn't good enough, or I wasn't a success story anymore, or that I had peaked. And that's not true. It's only true if you allow it to be true. You know that saying that goes, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're absolutely right. There's all truth in that. That's all it is truth. And so I encourage you to look at where you've been, where you are now, and where you want to go. And hopefully where you want to go is far beyond where you've already been, because a lot of people aren't successful in this business because they don't know how to do the ping pong. They don't know how to do the roller coaster. They don't know how to take the peaks with the valleys and know that the next peak comes after a deep valley. So you got to keep making roadmaps, and you've got to keep telling yourself that your success is one comeback after another. So now as I look at my business and I look at where I want it to go, I'm looking at my daughter, and I'm looking at the fact that, again, I'm in this season of life with this little itty bitty baby. I need to bring extra income into my household. I don't know many people who don't need extra money, especially right now, right? With groceries as high as a giraffe's rear end. But listen, we all have to do what we've got to do, right? And I don't want to take time away from my family to go chase something else. I don't want to rebuild something else from the ground up. What I want to do is find the love and the passion and the excitement for these products and this company that I adore and share it with the world again. Because I promise you that if you think your area is saturated, if you think everybody knows about Scentsy, if you think nobody is buying Scentsy, you are wrong, you are wrong, you are wrong. There are always people every single day. So write your next comeback story. Literally write it out. What is your next step? What is the next goal? I'll be honest and transparent. My next goal is to be a star director again. I still hold my title as an SSD. I'm just not being paid at rank. So my next goal is to get back to star director. So that means building up new leaders. How do you build up new leaders? You share the excitement of this business and you show the roadmap to them. And so your story is always being written. There's not she's a success story because she was a comeback and that's it. The success story is found in how you pick yourself up with every single fall, right? And so if I look at my daughter and I look at the fact that she is 4 months old tomorrow, and that she's going to be crawling soon and she's going to be walking soon, and I think about the way that a baby learns to walk, they don't fall down a few times and decide, this walking thing, it's just not for me. I'm not going to do it. I fell on my butt a few times. I think I'm just going to stay right here. Use that same tenacity to get yourself back up in your business. If you fall down, fall forward. Figure out what it is that you need to do and do it better next time, right? Success is literally just a road of a bunch of failures and the lessons one learns from them. And that is the honest transparency that I'm in right now. And I know that if I've done it once, I can do it again. And this time I can do it better and I can probably do it faster because I know what I did last time to be successful. And just as I said at the beginning of this, it was literally sharing my excitement with everybody, telling everybody about Scentsy, literally sticking a bar in anybody's face that would smell it. Smell this, smell this, smell this. Do you want to borrow my testers? Do you want to borrow my bag? Like, it's literally hitting the ground and grinding it out. That's what it takes. And it's an everyday thing. You're never done hustling. In fact, one of the people that I admire so much and look up to is Deanie. Deanie is still doing events. Deanie is still working it and hustling it herself. Okay? You're never done. You're never done. There are always customers to find. There are always hosts to find. There are always new team members to inspire to join. So my suggestion or my advice to you is to fall back in love with your business, whatever it is. And then from there, write out your comeback story, step by step with the steps that you need to take to get where you're going to be. Because that's what I've done all along, and that's what I'm continuing to do.
All right, thank you, Johanna. Okay, questions. Post in the comments. Okay, so you had said that you made a plan. What did your plan include?
So my plan included, I listened I like really get nerded out. I love to learn. Like I never want to be the smartest person in the room, and I'm always trying to learn something. So whenever I really need to be inspired, I run to YouTube and I find new leaders to watch. And so at the time, I was just soaking up back in 2017, whatever was on YouTube for me to find. And I was watching like OG Sensi leaders, right? So I watched Jen Audette's 222 plan. And that's what my initial plan looked like. 2 recruits a month, $2,000 a month, and then do that for 2 years. And then fast forward to 2019, I changed that 222 to 2.5, 2. And so it was 2 recruits a month, 2,500 a month, and then the 2-year plan. And the reason I said 2,500 was because 2,500 is the average you need for annual sales. So that's the other thing that was very much ingrained in my plan was annual sales. And I always shoot for annual mentor. I come up short, although I try and I get closer and closer every year. But one of the things that I know about my own business, because I've looked at the reports, is when I have really high PRV months, usually high recruiting follows that, because it's simple math, right? You're talking to more people, you're doing more parties, you're in front of new customers. So that will naturally lead you to have the conversations about joining. And so I watched the peaks and valleys of my business, and I started to look at anybody who's been here even a year. Look back at your report and always try to cover your mountains. And what I mean by that is if you look at your performance tab, your own personal performance, and you do the year over year, you should always be trying to cover the year prior. So if it's June, let's say you did $1,000 last June, you want to do 1,500 this June, or even 1,200, even $1,001. Always just try to do better than you did last year. So those 3 things were what was in my plan, making sure that I hit these monthly metrics that I knew were easily measurable, work towards annual sales and the trip incentives, right? So if you're working towards those, you're naturally going to build your business, and then always covering my mountains.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's a solid plan. I think if everyone sticks to those plans, you head in the right direction. And even if you fall short, you just keep going month after month and you keep trying.
Totally. And that's just it, is like, keep it simple, right? Like it doesn't have to be any more elaborate than that. We don't need fancy systems. You can write it out on a Post-it, right? Like I start out at 2,500. I got $100 sale. I got a $500 party. I got whatever. And the other thing is, I heard Melissa Gratz say once, and it stuck with me. And my own team makes fun of me all the time, because Melissa Gratz said one time, focus on a sale a day, right? Be it an air purifier or a sun circle, it doesn't matter. If you know that you're bringing in at least 1 sale a day, you know then that you are doing something in your business. You've got to be doing something in order to get that sale. So I do that. And my team laughs at me all the time, because if you've ever seen Despicable Me and the mean lady at the orphanage or whatever it is, the home, she's talking about, was it a great sale day? And I say that to my team all the time, like, don't make me put you in the box of shame. Was it a great sale day? Did you make a sale? And so it's going after those little goals. And like I said, it could be a sun circle, but you talk to somebody and celebrating those little wins.
Love that. I know I haven't personally done this, but I've known several leaders who keep a calendar, and every day they write on that date in that calendar what sales they they did. And if they're like, oh shoot, it's 5 o'clock and I haven't made a sale, then they get to work.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to keep yourself accountable.
Yeah, and it's just a really great way to like think about if you're working your business every day. And that's one of the things that I wanted to mention earlier and I forgot to, is that the things it, the thing that I love most about this business, nah, I'm on a call. What do you need? Get it later. I'm on a call. Sorry, guys. Is the thing that I love about this business is also the thing that I loathe about this business is that we have incredible freedom. We have this incredible freedom to work how we want, when we want, wherever we want. But with that freedom comes this incredible responsibility to ourselves to make sure that we are accountable to ourselves and to our own goals, because no one's coming for you. No one's saying, hey, did you get that sale today? Hey, did you talk to enough people today? Have you booked any parties this month? Have you recruited in the last 90 days? In the last 120 days? No one is doing that. Sure, we're applauded by Sensi or possibly our upline, our Sensi community, when we do these really great things and hit metrics. But nobody besides us and our upline, who I'm going to be real with you, if you're not producing, your upline's not looking at you in your reports anyway. At least that's the kind of leader I am. I don't have that kind of time. I'm not paying attention to the people that aren't showing up. So truly, you are only accountable to yourself. And that's a blessing and a curse about this business. And if you don't do it right, meaning you don't keep yourself accountable, you don't come up with some kind of roadmap, some kind of plan for yourself, you're going to end up fizzling out. You're going to leave your business set so long that somebody's going to go somewhere else. Your customers are going to go somewhere else. They're going to go to the consultant that's working.
Yeah, no, that's so true. Okay, so someone asked, what is your current plan now for Star Director?
So my current plan now for Star Director is that I need to get to work. 100% transparency. That's the first thing that I need to do. And what I mean by that is, again, we talk about seasons, right? I just had a baby in February. So I have been loving on my daughter. I've been getting back in the swing of work, in the swing of things. And I know that I have not been working my business like I may have in the past when I didn't have this super tiny human that needed me and was sucking all my sleep out. So I'm going back to those basics, right? I'm going to sit down and I'm going to literally write out $2,500 at the beginning of every month, 2 new recruits at the beginning of every month. And I'm starting over for 2 years. And each year that focus is that annual sales. So I need to start working on that $2,500 every month. And by doing that, by booking the parties, because I'm going to tell you what, is a lot harder to get $2,500 for a lot of people now than it was 2-3 years ago. Right? We have to work that much harder for it. But club is a huge gateway for me. And then I'm working in the reports. So I am in a different place in my business because I do have, it's a smaller group compared to most SSDs, but I do have, a really strong group for, let's say, a director. And so there is stuff I can pull out of my reports to look at who's working. And so I'm going to work with the willing. So whether you have no recruits right now, or you have people that's what I'm going to do for my next and the beginning, and I'm a little book right my front line.
Oh, Johanna, you're breaking up a lot.
Oh no. Oh,
I know.
oh no. I'm going to turn off sometimes that.
Turning off your video and turning back on.
Is that better?
Yes, I think so. Maybe.
Is it better?
Yes, I think.
You know what? Hang on.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to go for a little walk. We're going to go outside. But sometimes the outside is just that much better.
Yeah, I feel that.
I've got a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old. So pull for the Wi-Fi up in here is real. Because everybody's always on the Wi-Fi. Okay, so hopefully that's better. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, now we just may have to contend with the wind. So, okay, focus on my front line. So I have a sheet for every single one of my front line, and I write down their monthly numbers. So their monthly numbers are their PRV, their TWV, their team number, how many are in their team, and if they had any recruits. And I only look at my front lines. It simplifies the report a whole lot. And what this does is that I can look at, let's say Susie Q is not recruiting at all and her numbers aren't great. She's not selling anything. She's not even active. But her TWV shows me there's movement, right? Somebody's selling because her TWV is 1,500. She's got a small team. And maybe her team went from 5 last month to 7 this month. Someone in there is recruiting and someone in there is selling. So that's when I drill down. I don't drill down in the downline until I see that movement from underneath my front line. And that's where you work with the working. And so that's my goal for Star Director, is to find those directors. And so, you know, I used to, when I first started this business and I first had a team, I would post out there in my team, who wants coaching calls? Who wants to hit director? And I'd get all these people that would raise their hands and then not do the work. Or they'd book a coaching call with me and then we'd be coaching month over the same thing and there was no movement. So I don't take that approach anymore. And I'm certainly not going to take it this time. This is what I mean by getting there smarter and faster, is I'm going to just look in these reports and I will reach out to those that I see working, especially in this economy. That's who I want to talk to, are the people who are showing up, the people that are selling, the people that are month over month having $500, because I would much rather talk to somebody who sells consistently $500 every single month for 6 months than somebody that sold $3,000 this month and then they don't sell anything for 2 months and then they sell $1,000 and they don't sell anything and then they're 2,000. That's inconsistent. I want the consistency, even if it's less.
Yeah, very good. All right, any other questions? This was really fantastic. And I took some notes as a good reminder. I haven't had a baby for 10 years, but I've been kind of in a super busy season where my business has suffered definitely the last year, and I'm starting to really see it in my sales. And so it's a good reminder to just need to get back to it.
And it's the truth. And, you know, when Hannah reached out to me and said, hey, you know, we want to hear about your story and, you know, what you're doing. And kind of, I took a moment and I was like, I didn't respond to her right away. And then she must have been reading my mind while she was typing, because then she wrote, because you are a success story. And I took a step back and I thought, you know what? Hell yes, I am. I am a success story because I don't give up. And that alone, if you don't give up, that makes you a success story. And I'm going to tell you, I could say all day long that it's Olivia's fault that I'm not working my business. But there's somebody in Scentsy that just popped out a baby today, I'm sure, and they're getting sales. You know, it's all about what you're willing to do. And that's the key word. What are you willing to do? And we have to be honest with ourselves sometimes that while I could go out and sell $5,000 this month, I'm not willing to do the things I would need to do that in this season of my life. But that doesn't make me less successful, you know? And when I was going through my season of really beating myself up over the fact that I wasn't being paid at title, and part of that was because anybody that's ever been a director can tell you it's not easy to maintain. And I was paid at title every single month as a director. I was paid at title every single month as a star director. And for my first several months as an SSD, I was paid at title. So when I took this hit and I couldn't figure out what was going on and I felt it was me, I really had a hard time. And I reached out to Chuck and I was like, I just want to give my title back. I can't look at the circles anymore every month and know that I am so far from hitting them
because I don't have the leaders in place and we're just not strong enough right now to do that GWB. And he said, once a superstar director, always a superstar director. And he also told me that that's not how home office looks at it. They look at it as, different levels of director. And that's why you look at the compensation plan and it doesn't, you get paid differently on generations, but the qualifications as far as 3 active frontline and $500 and all that, it stays the same. And you get paid on your, directors. And if you look at the compensation plan from director to SSD, other than generations, they're very similar. So anybody that's in that season where they were a director or an SD or an SSD that's not getting paid at title, I would really encourage you to not look at yourself as that title not getting paid, but that you are, in my case, an SSD level director. And I'm just working my way back up. And that's all it is. And the next time I do it, it's going to be that much sweeter. And the next time I do it, I'm going to take along people that really want this, because it won't be hypergrowth that did it. It will be our hard work and our tenacity, and everybody can do it. Now, am I willing to do it this year? Probably not. Right? Like, could I? Maybe, but I'm not willing to take that time away from this household to do it. And so you've got to be real with yourself. And once you are, you can start to write that comeback story that's going to be true to who you are, and that you could just really be at heart with it. And once you're like okay with it in your heart, you're going to go the distance. It just may take you a little bit longer, and that's okay.
This is fantastic. Perspective is everything. And you gave us some really, really great perspective. So I super duper appreciate you. Everyone is saying thank you. You're amazing. Thanks for your transparency and honesty. We super duper appreciate you, Johanna, for hopping on and taking some time away from your sweet family. And everyone, thanks for being on. We will have our Taco Tuesday again next week, 8 o'clock Central Time. And y'all have a wonderful night. We'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.